The ancient forest sprawled beneath the moonlit canvas of the night, a tapestry woven with shadows and secrets. Emily, an intrepid photographer with an insatiable curiosity, was drawn to the whispered legends of the Whistler in the woods. Skeptics dismissed it as folklore, but she could not resist the allure of the unknown that beckoned from the heart of the eerie woods. As the autumn wind whispered through the leaves, Emily ventured into the depths of the forest. Each step was met with a rhythmic crunch of leaves underfoot, the woods coming alive with the symphony of the natural world. The trees, gnarled and ancient, stood like stoic sentinels, their twisted branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The first time she heard it, it was a distant murmur, a faint, haunting whistling carried by the night breeze. She paused, her senses on high alert. The tune lingered, ethereal and captivating, a siren's call that seemed to beckon her further into the shadowed embrace of the ancient woods. Determined, Emily followed the haunting melody, each step deeper into the forest, intensifying the eerie ambiance. The moon cast a silvery glow on the forest floor, illuminating a path that seemed to materialize before her. As she ventured forth, the shadows seemed to dance to the cadence of the otherworldly tune. The whistling persisted, growing clearer and more distinct with each passing moment. It was no longer a distant echo, but an intimate companion, a spectral melody that whispered secrets only the woods could fathom. Emily felt a chill down her spine, a mixture of trepidation and fascination that propelled her forward. The trees began to close in around her, their twisted branches forming an archway that led to a moonlit clearing. In the center, an ancient oak stood like a guardian of the secrets buried within the forest. The whistling reached its zenith, echoing through the clearing with an intensity that sent shivers down Emily's spine. In the heart of the clearing, she discovered an old music box atop a moss-covered stump. The lid creaked open as if inviting her to unravel the mysteries concealed within. Delicate figurines adorned its interior, frozen in a macabre dance that mirrored the haunting whistling. Unable to resist the pull of the unknown, Emily reached out to close the lid. The music box fell silent, plunging the clearing into an eerie stillness. It was then that a bone-chilling whisper emerged from the shadows, a ghostly narration of tragedies and sorrows, a lament that seemed to seep from the very fabric of the forest. The once familiar woods transformed into an otherworldly labyrinth of shadows and uncertainty. Emily, now ensnared in the grip of the forest's malevolence, stumbled through the shifting darkness. The whistling, no longer a distant melody, surrounded her, weaving a tapestry of despair and longing. A spectral mist enveloped her, distorting the landscape and playing tricks on her senses. She felt a presence at her shoulder, a whisper in her ear that sent shivers through her being. The whistling seemed to come from all directions, an omnipresent force that resonated with the ancient spirits of the woods. In the depths of the forest, Emily encountered apparitions, shadows of the past, figures with hollow eyes that mirrored the sorrowful tales recounted by the haunting melody. They reached out to her, their silent pleas echoing through the haunted woods. As Emily pressed forward, the forest itself seemed to be alive with malevolent intent. Trees creaked and groaned, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The ground beneath her feet felt unstable, as if the very earth conspired to keep her ensnared in the web of the forest's curse. The moon, once a guiding light, now cast long shadows that danced with a life of their own. Emily's breath hung in the air like a spectral fog as she stumbled upon an ancient cemetery hidden within the depths of the woods. Tombstones, weathered and forgotten, bore inscriptions of tragic tales and untimely demises. The whistling, now a mournful requiem, echoed through the graveyard. Emily felt a presence behind her, a spectral figure that materialized from the mist. Its hollow eyes bore into her soul, and the whistling intensified, reaching a crescendo that reverberated through the tombstones. Terror gripped Emily as the spectral figure whispered her name, a sound that sent shockwaves through the haunted woods. The graves seemed to come alive, shadows rising from the earth as if to claim her. The very fabric of reality seemed to unravel, revealing a world where the living and the dead coexisted in a macabre dance. Desperation fueled Emily's flight through the graveyard, the whistling pursuing her like a relentless specter. she stumbled upon an ancient crypt, its door ajar, revealing a staircase that led into the bowels of the earth. The whistling, now a dissonant cacophony, seemed to beckon her into the crypt's depths. Against her instincts, Emily descended into the darkness. The air grew colder, and the walls seemed to close in around her. The whistling became a symphony of despair, the haunting melody reverberating through the crypt like a malevolent heartbeat. In the depths of the crypt, Emily discovered a chamber adorned with ancient symbols and faded paintings. At its center lay a sarcophagus, its lid adorned with a depiction of the whistler in the woods. The whistling reached its climax, merging with an unearthly howl that seemed to emanate from the very walls. As Emily approached the sarcophagus, the lid creaked open, revealing a void of darkness. The whistling, now a distorted echo, enveloped her. The chamber seemed to warp and twist, reality folding upon itself as Emily was pulled into the abyss. When Emily awoke, she found herself in a moonlit clearing, the same clearing where her journey had begun. The music box, the ancient oak, and the haunting whistling were nowhere to be seen. The forest stood silent, as if holding its breath. As she navigated her way back through the woods, the memories of the spectral journey lingered, a chilling reminder of the malevolence that dwelled within the ancient forest. The legends of the whistler in the woods lived on, passed down through whispers and shivers, a cautionary tale for those who dared to venture too deep into the heart of the haunted woods. Emily emerged from the forest, her camera still slung over her shoulder, but the woods had claimed something more profound than mere photographs. The haunting melody lingered in her mind, a dissonant echo that would forever remind her of the spectral dance between the living and the dead, within the heart of the whistler in the woods. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the desolate summer camp. The air hung heavy with the weight of secrets, and the once vibrant cabins now stood silent, haunted by a mystery that had shrouded the place for decades. Nina, a curious teenager with a penchant for the paranormal, had heard the whispered tales of the camp's unsettling history. Locals spoke in hushed tones about disappearances, strange noises in the night, and an inexplicable chill that clung to the air like a malevolent spirit. Determined to unravel the enigma, Nina convinced her friends to join her on an expedition to the abandoned camp. The moon hung low in the sky as they approached the rusted gates, the creaking sound echoing through the stillness of the night. The camp, once alive with laughter and the joyous shouts of children, now wore a shroud of decay. The cabins, weathered by time and neglect, loomed like specters in the moonlight. As they ventured further into the heart of the camp, the group couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. An unsettling breeze whispered through the trees, carrying with it the faint echoes of distant laughter that seemed to come from a time long past. The air shimmered with an otherworldly energy, and Nini's excitement mingled with an undercurrent of fear. Their journey led them to the main lodge, a dilapidated structure that stood at the center of the camp like a sentinel of the unknown. The door groaned as it swung open, revealing a darkness that seemed to stretch into eternity. Undeterred, Nina led her friends into the abyss, their flashlights cutting through the black like feeble beacons of hope. The air inside the lodge was thick and musty, carrying the scent of abandonment. As they explored, the group stumbled upon a room filled with dusty artifacts, a collection of forgotten memories. Faded photographs adorned the walls, capturing the smiles of children who once reveled in the joys of summer. One photograph in particular drew Nina's attention. It depicted a group of campers, their faces frozen in time. As she studied the image, she felt an inexplicable connection to the children who had vanished without a trace. Their eyes seemed to follow her, pleading for answers from beyond the photograph. Determined to uncover the truth, Nina delved into the camp's archives. Dusty journals revealed cryptic entries, detailing strange occurrences that plagued the camp for years. Whispers of a spectral counselor who walked the grounds at night, his footsteps echoing through the deserted cabins. The group's exploration led them to the old recreation hall, where the air grew colder with each step. The atmosphere hummed with an energy that made their skin prickle, and Nina sensed they were closing in on the heart of the mystery. As they entered the hall, a ghostly melody echoed through the air, an eerie tune that seemed to be played on an invisible piano. The source of the haunting music remained elusive, its ethereal notes sending shivers down their spines. The group followed the haunting melody, winding through the corridors of the recreation hall. The air grew dense with a supernatural force, and the temperature plummeted. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on sinister forms that seemed to mock their intrusion into the camp's dark past. Suddenly, the music ceased, leaving the group in an oppressive silence. It was then that they heard it, the distant laughter of children. The sound reverberated through the hall, each giggle and whisper echoing with a melancholic undertone. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and fear, Nina and her friends followed the spectral laughter. It led them to a hidden chamber beneath the recreation hall, a place forgotten by time. The walls were adorned with drawings, crude depictions of the vanished children engaged in summer activities. In the center of the chamber stood an old piano, its keys worn and weathered. The haunting melody resumed, played by unseen hands. Shadows twisted and writhed, taking on the forms of children who danced to the macabre cadence. As Nina approached the piano, the laughter grew louder. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and the temperature plunged to an icy chill. She hesitated, a chill running down her spine, but an unseen force urged her to play the piano. As her fingers touched the keys, the laughter reached a crescendo. The room seemed to come alive with the spirits of the vanished children, their laughter mingling with the haunting melody. Each note resonated with the pain and longing of souls trapped in a realm between the living and the dead. The air grew heavy with sorrow, and Nina felt the weight of the camp's tragic history pressing down on her. The room pulsed with a supernatural energy, and the walls seemed to weep with the collective grief of the forgotten children. In a sudden surge of insight, Nina realized that the camp was a purgatory for the lost souls of the vanished children. They yearned for release, their laughter and the haunting melody serving as a desperate plea for salvation. With a heavy heart, Nina played the piano with a newfound purpose. The melody shifted, becoming a mournful requiem that echoed through the chamber. The shadows ceased their dance and the laughter faded into solemn whispers. As the final notes echoed, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew warm, and a gentle breeze swept through the chamber. The drawings on the walls seemed to come to life, their crude depictions now transformed into joyful scenes of children playing in the summer sun. The room, once steeped in sorrow, now exuded a sense of peace. The spirits of the vanished children had found release, their laughter fading into the night like a gentle breeze carrying away the weight of a long-held secret. Nina and her friends emerged from the chamber, the once haunted camp now bathed in the soft glow of the moon. The air felt lighter, and the oppressive stillness had given way to the rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of crickets. As they left the camp behind, Nina couldn't shake the feeling of connection with the lost souls. The summer camp mystery, once a haunting enigma, had transformed into a bittersweet tale of redemption. The laughter of the children lingered in the air, a reminder that even in the darkest corners, there could be a glimmer of hope and peace. The sun began to rise, casting its golden rays over the rejuvenated camp. The shadows retreated, and the once silent cabins seemed to sigh with relief. The summer camp mystery, while still etched in the annals of the supernatural, had found closure, and the spirits of the lost children could finally rest in peace.